Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see it. We all know that Skip Bayless has been at the center of sports news for the last few days. If some of you are unaware, he has been. Why? Primarily because of his back and forth on Twitter with Russell Westbrook's wife, Nina Westbrook. For those of you guys who missed the exchange, essentially what happened was Nina Westbrook took exception with Skip Bayless constantly calling her husband Russell Westbrook. That was her issue with him. And Skip Bayless and she said that Skip Bayless blocked him on Twitter, and then Skip Bayless responded and he said, "Listen, I have to do my job and I never blocked you." And then she said, "I never, I guess he never did block her." And then that was the back and forth. And then yesterday, I think after the Lakers won that game or lost the game, whatever it was, against the Golden State Warriors, Russell Westbrook came out there and made some comments about people making fun of his last name, which sparked a major debate in sports yesterday. ESPN First Take everybody spoke about it yesterday, right? So that was basically the back and forth, and we all remember all of that, right? Everybody spoke about it, even us. We chimed in and gave our 2 cents. And on Undisputed yesterday, when Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe were discussing it, Shannon Sharpe actually sided with Skip Bayless, and he said, "Listen, if you don't want people to make fun of you, just play better, Russell Westbrook. LeBron and all of these guys had people make fun of their last name, so just man up, play better." So that was it. So later in the day, I stumbled upon a video from Fox Sports, and it was Doug Gottlieb, about Doug Gottlieb. Now, you all know who Doug Gottlieb is. If you follow sports closely, you'll know who that is. Anyway, Doug Gottlieb, as you know, is an employee of FS1. He works at FS1, and in the past, you used to see him on the show. What is it? Not First Things First. Speak for Yourself, when they had Jason Whitlock. They had Jimmy Jackson used to come on there. Steven Jackson used to be there, and all this. So he used to make some guest appearances on that show back then. But now he has a radio show. Anyway, I stumbled upon this audio, and basically Doug Gottlieb was basically calling out Skip Bayless for his behavior, which totally stunned me. So for those of you guys who missed the comments that Doug Gottlieb had to make about Skip Bayless, take a listen to some of the things that Doug Gottlieb had to say about Skip Bayless right here, and we come back and give you guys our thoughts. Take a listen to that.
Let's just say it. I understand he works for Fox Sports. I understand he makes a ton of money. I think it's disgraceful what Skip Bayless has done. Okay? He made feminine references to Chris Bosh, which is reprehensible, and so is this. You can't normalize this behavior, right? It's a lot like the Trump conversation. Like, you can tell me whatever you want about his politics, but the way in which he would speak to people, treat people, handle sensitive information was not that of the President of the United States. Period. Stop. There is no argument otherwise. None. Everyone knows it. It's unacceptable behavior. The same, on a very different and lesser level, is true of Skip. If you're going to make a reported $6 million or whatever he makes to be on TV, he shouldn't be a name caller. He shouldn't be a name caller, because then it normalizes it. It becomes a thing. Westbrook. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're 70 years old. You've been covering sports your entire life. You don't call people names. You can say he's a terrible shooter. You can say, I don't know what happened, why he can't dribble a basketball. For a guy, and I've said this, for a guy who is such a high-level competitive athlete who's played basketball this long, some of the turnovers he has are just inexplicable. Like, you don't see that from players at that level. But I try very hard to not be a name caller. And if you ask people in the NBA, they will all say they don't the takes. Obviously he's made a career out of being a LeBron hater, right? He's made a career out of it, and he had a great career as a writer before that. He's made a career over the last maybe 12 years or so of being a LeBron hater. And some of that, I don't know, if you don't see it transparent, you watch a game and LeBron didn't want free throws late. Well, he had 56 points, But whatever. If you want to question LeBron and his toughness, his shot making, don't call people names. I don't think it's that hard. And if you ask people in the NBA, they will say, like, why would they let that? Why would he call people names? You're 7 years old. What are you calling people names for? You know? And we can say, hey, it's all part of barbershop conversation, and I don't think it's representative of his level of stature and success in television. Now, look, it's going to be the run back to the principal's office. Oh, my God, Gottlieb called out Skip. Yes, I did. If he doesn't know it, he should know it now. It ain't okay. And don't worry, I won't be on that show. He doesn't let somebody who actually wants to come back at things like that on his show. Not concerned about it. He has achieved incredible success. You don't call people names.
Now, let me quickly say this. I am not here defending Russell Westbrook whatsoever, because I think Russell Westbrook brought a lot of this on himself with his terrible play, because Russell Westbrook has played terribly this season in stretches, missing open shots, throwing these errant passes like out of bounds, missing layups, missing dunks. Russell Westbrook did all of that on his own, and also he brought it on because of his defiant attitude with the media and fans. You remember when they asked him, I think it was about a week or so ago, in a post-game interview, and he was like, how do you feel about Laker fans taking this home? He was like, I'm not taking this home with me. They can take it home with themselves. So Russell Westbrook brought a lot of this on himself. He's not an innocent bystander by any means whatsoever, right? He is not. So that's not what I'm here doing. I'm not doing that at all. What I want to focus on instead is Doug Gottlieb going and Skip Bayless. That's really what I think the real story is here. Because Skip Bayless is arguably the biggest voice or biggest personality on FS1, and probably a close second is Colin Cowherd or Shannon Sharp. But he's the face of that network, and he's the headliner on their biggest show, Skip and Shannon Undisputed, right? So there's no disputing that. And what really took me aback was Doug Gottlieb essentially calling him out, basically a co-worker in the same working space. To me, that was stunning. It would be tantamount to, let's say, Jay Williams on his radio show calling out Stephen A. Smith for something that he said, like calling him out directly. That would be shocking. So for Doug Gottlieb to go that far to call out Skip Bayless and basically say, listen, man, you're being immature for your age. Why are you acting this way? Call him out. I was like, wow, that was surprising. So really, the question here is, because I have a few questions, and because I'm still in astonishment, the questions here I have for you guys is this. Number one, do you think Doug Gottlieb will get in trouble with FS1 for doing this? That's the first question. The second question is this. Do you think Skip Bayless is going to be upset at Doug for saying that? Because remember, Doug did say that Skip will not bring people on the show, that will push back on him when when it pertains to issues like this. And finally, the last question is this. What do you think about the comments that Doug Gottlieb had to make about Skip Bayless ultimately? All his bigger points that he was trying to make about Skip Bayless, basically saying to Skip Bayless that what he's doing is totally unnecessary. You can criticize the guy, but you're going a little bit too far. So what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about these particular things? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and we definitely catch you guys on the next episode.